and all their lies are exposed. Now, this is what the actual orbit of the sun and moon look like. This is the flag of the United Nations.
Object that revolves around the sun. But the fact is,
Flat
of
Earth.
course, that the Earth is a circular dish surrounded by a barrier of ice that explorers like Andrea Barnes have been attempting to penetrate for centuries.
Everybody's station is Saturnic.
The argument, for all practical purposes, came to an end when the Church of England was established by law during the 16th century. They rejected many laws of the ancient Catholic Church, and to appear forward-thinking, they embraced many radical scientific notions prevalent at the time, including Copernicus' round Earth theory. With this endorsement, the theory found its way into the schools, which were then largely controlled by the Church. It has remained there to this day, and many children have accepted it without question.
Okay, here, take a look at this.
I have indeed been uploaded.
Alright, Flat Earth, take a look. I'm watching Tony Stark on TV, and it hits me that his suit only goes up to 80,000 feet, and then it pops out. And look, that's if you watch the shuttle and all those things, they go straight up, but they don't actually go straight up. They curve like this. They're going over to 80,000 feet, and they're out of your sight, and then they land in the ocean or something, but they do not go up higher than that. 80,000 feet is the limit. I'm telling you, 80,000 feet is the limit. It's a flat Earth. They're rubbing it in your face right here. This is called lesser magic. This is lesser magic. They're showing you the peak. The peak.
Sir, there is a hugely fatal buildup of ice occurring.
Rockets don't work in space, people. There's nothing for them to push on. 80,000 feet's the limit of flat Earth. It's flat Earth you live on, people. Listen to me. I'm informing you that the flag of the United Nations is the flat Earth map. Doesn't matter how high you go up, the horizon is always eye level. I don't care if you're in a tree. I don't care if you're on the roof or you're in a tall building or an airplane. The roof, the horizon is always eye level. This is mathematically impossible if you're on a sphere. Go sit on a sphere and you'll see why. Listen, go look at type in NASA fakes all the missions, and you can see it's all done in underwater tanks and on zero-G jets. 80,000 feet is the maximum height. It's flat Earth. It's flat Earth. It's a flat Earth plane. I'm not asking you. I am informing you that they rub it in your face. It's called lesser magic. You are hereby informed, people, that you worship the time cube 100%. And the only way for you to get out of your dream right here is to unite peacefully for your survival, if not love for each other. You live on a flat Earth. They're rubbing it in your face. Nothing goes higher than 80,000 feet. Look at any mission, you'll see, as long as there's no fisheye lens on it, it's a flat Earth. You can see, look up, mathematically impossible that you live on a sphere by the plumb. They build everything using a plumb, and so everything goes straight up. And if it was a sphere, the higher you'd go up, the higher the incline would be towards the center of the Earth if it was a sphere, and then the buildings would be so fat at the top that they would tip over. It's mathematically impossible. The horizon is always eye level no matter how high you go up. The horizon is always high level. If it's a round Earth, it would be way down over here. It's mathematically impossible. I'm informing you, they rub it in your face in movies, and they rub it in your face on the UN flag. It's the flat Earth map. I'm sorry, people. You live on a flat Earth.
There's all kinds of proofs right around you that show that the Earth is flat. A very simple one to think of is that we use plumb bobs to build buildings. In other words, to get the wall of a building going straight down, you'll take a string with a heavy weight hanging from it, and you make the building follow that string. That plumb bob will point to the center of a round Earth. That means that if you imagine that this was the correct Earth, you can imagine a plumb bob held here would point in that direction, and a plumb bob held here would point in that direction. that means the buildings would be bigger on the top than at the bottom.
It would also mean that boats would constantly be sailing downhill. And invariably, in any discussion about the shape of the Earth, the first argument used in support of its rotundity is that as ships sail out to sea, the tops of their masts are visible longer than the hull.
The fact is, of course, that the light rays from the lower part of the ship are no longer reaching the shore. When we consider that so eminent an authority as Einstein postulated and indeed proved that light rays bend perceptibly in gravitational fields, it should not be surprising that the light rays from the lower parts of the ship do not succeed in reaching the shore, are incapable of entering the eye of an observer, and so the particular part of the ship from which those light rays come is not seen.
Perhaps the most significant experiments were those carried out on a canal known as the Old Bedford Level. Located in Cambridgeshire, England, the canal is perfectly straight over an uninterrupted 6-mile stretch. While there, Parallax conducted many experiments, all towards one conclusion: to prove that the surface of the water in the canal was indeed perfectly flat. In one experiment, a boat carrying a flag rowed from one bridge to another 6 miles away. An observer with a telescope placed 8 inches above the surface of the water found that the flag and the boat were distinctly visible throughout the entire distance. If the Earth is a sphere with a circumference of 25,000 miles, then over a distance of 6 miles, the second bridge should mathematically be 16 feet below the observer's eye line.